Hello, everyone, and welcome to another Origins of Expressions. Today, we'll be going over the phrases born yesterday, age before beauty, as old as the hills. What do they all have in common? They're all phrases and idioms around aging. Well, let's go ahead and get right to work and start this video. Aging. That seemingly crazy time change that takes us all by surprise. Aging affects everyone differently. As we age, time either feels like it's standing still, like when you were a kid waiting for summer break to start while still sitting in a classroom, or as you get older and time flies by, you just want it to slow down so you can enjoy it more. Aging has been with us forever, so it is no surprise that we have expressions around age. Whether you are young or old, you can bet that there is an expression around age. Let's not waste any more of our precious time and get to our first phrase. Born yesterday. Born yesterday has two different meanings. It can be said as a positive, born yesterday, to say somebody is young, inexperienced, or naive. But it is more commonly said as a negative, not born yesterday, or I wasn't born yesterday, to mean the opposite, that someone is experienced and not gullible. The phrase has been in use since the late 1800s. The most obvious observation would be that with age comes wisdom. So if someone was not born yesterday, it means that they have been around for a while. This has given them ample opportunity to gain many life experiences. The idiom became more widely used after the Broadway play Born Yesterday. It was based on a book by Garson Kanin. Both the Broadway play and the movie starred Julie Holliday as a seemingly naive blonde who is far smarter than she is given credit for. Today, we still hear the phrase used in the negative sense, I was not born yesterday, to say that I will not fall for your tricks or lies. An example sentence is, Susan might look young, but she was not born yesterday. She's not going to fall for your lies. Well, let's leave them to their conversation as we move right into our next phrase. Age before beauty. Age before beauty means older people should be given priority over younger people. This is normally used jokingly, often by the older person in order to flatter the younger person. Age before beauty, ma'am. This phrase has been used for quite some time. It started out as a way to make an observation of how the elders entered the room first when it came to people of equal rank in the Victorian era. The first written record where age before beauty was printed was in 1869 in the Decanter Republican newspaper. As time has gone on, the phrase has become less used and has become a way of giving playful insults. Today, we do not use it as much, but if you do use it, it is usually as a joke or an insult. An example sentence is, Chuck held the door open for Tim as he motioned for him to go ahead and said, age before beauty. Well, it looks like these two will be joking around all night. Why don't we move over to our next phrase? As old as the hills. As old as the hills means to be very old, that something has existed for a very long time. Wow, that's as old as the hills. The idiom as old as the hills is biblical. It has been around for quite some time. I guess you could say that the phrase itself is as old as the hills. The phrase is taken from Job 15:7. It reads, Art thou the first man that was born, or was thou made before the hills? This phrase did not gain popularity in its current form until 1734, when it showed up in Francis Hutchinson's A Defense of the Ancient Historians. It read, As vales are as old as hills, so lakes and rivers must be as old as they. Today we do not see the phrase as old as the hills as much. You might see the variation as old as dirt. Both these phrases mean the same thing, that something is very old. An example sentence is, Why don't we ever sing new songs? Those hymns are as old as the hills. Well, let's allow them to continue singing while we move on. Ooh, fun fact. Did you know that life expectancy is the statistical measure of the average time an organism, like a human, is expected to live? Yep, that's right. And as time has gone on, our life expectancy as a human has increased. In the Bronze Age and Iron Age, life expectancy was 26 years. Fast forward many years, and in 2010, world life expectancy increased to 67.2 years. Why the drastic change, you might ask? Well, the combination of high infant mortality and death in young adults from accidents, epidemics, plagues, war, and childbirth before modern medicine was widely available significantly lowers the life expectancy. For example, a group with a life expectancy of 40 wouldn't have people dying at exactly 40. Most of them would die before 30 or after 55. In populations with high infant mortality rates, the life expectancy is highly vulnerable to the rate of death in the first few years of life. Because of this vulnerability, life expectancy can be misinterpreted, leading to believe that the population with a low life expectancy would have a smaller portion of older people. Until the middle of the 1950s, infant mortality was approximately 40 to 60% of the total mortality rate. If we exclude child mortality, the average life expectancy between the 12th and 19th centuries was approximately 55 years old. So, if a medieval person survived childhood, they had about a 50% chance of living to the ripe old age of 50 to 55 years old. Sheesh, thank goodness we have more knowledge today on how to stay healthier longer. Well, that's the information that I have for you today. I hope you enjoyed learning about the origins of our idioms and phrases. I would love to have you subscribe if you did. I know you can click that button. You weren't born yesterday. Go ahead, click it, and subscribe to the channel. It's quick and easy, and I would really appreciate it. Oh, yeah, quick question before you go. Do you know any idioms or phrases around aging? Maybe you know other idioms or phrases on an entirely different subject. I would love to see them. Leave them in the comments below. And if I use one of your phrases, I'll give you a shout out. Thank you again for watching and subscribing. I really appreciate your support. Until next time, bye.